Thank you so much for joining us on this week's Good News. We are out here with Brandon, who is the creator of Carrberry Christmas. Carrberry Christmas, yeah. And it's pretty incredible. You're going to look at it here in just a second. But Brandon, what exactly is Carrberry Christmas?
Well, Carrberry Christmas is it's a light show that we've created. We have a little less than 5,000 total pixel nodes or LEDs that are sequenced to certain songs. There's a spoken word sequence and all this can be heard within your vehicle. We have a radio station and that people can just sit in their car and they pull up here and they sit in the car and just enjoy it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So why exactly did you do this? Why did you create Carrberry Christmas?
Well, I guess it's been about 3 years ago. We've went around town. We've seen a few other shows, and I've always been that, since a little boy, I've always been, Christmas lights was just awesome to me. When I was little, we drove around town, looking at different houses just to see what people have done, and it changed from year to year. But so me and my wife decided, like I say, about 3 years ago that this is something we could probably do. And so then the end of the year came up, and it was time to start planning or whatever. And this would be January of 2019. And so here's kind of how the crazy part happens is I go to the eye doctor every January. And so I went that January 2019, and my vision was totally off. And they didn't know why. So I got referred to a doctor in town to take a look at me, a little more in-depth test they did to me to try to figure out what was wrong. And of course, I'll never forget the day I was there, and the doctor come in. He said, you can't have LASIK done to correct your vision. And I was just like, well, okay, how can I fix this? And he was like, no, you don't understand. You have a rare eye disease called keratoconus. And for me, I've been healthy most of my life. Never had anything, especially a disease, So I was in shock. I was like, what in the world is this? And he explained to me that keratoconus, like I say, it's rare. And what happens is the cornea, which is the outer layer of your eye, normally it is dome shaped. Well, mine aren't. They're more cone shaped. The crazy part about it, and it kind of ties into this, is when your corneas are dome shaped, the light that comes into your eyes makes your vision more clear. Well, mine aren't, so my vision was not because the light was throwing it off. Well, instead of beating up myself or whatever, I wanted to know how to fix it, and it turned out that it was an easy fix that they fixed with scleral lenses, and I received those lenses, and but that kind of threw us off. That January threw us off from wanting to start this show. Of course, I didn't know why that this was happening to me then, but as the year progressed, 2019, so my grandmother passes away in July, and I'm like, Lord, what's next? I'm dealing with eye disease. My grandmother's, she's gone. And then November, my wife's grandmother passes away, and it's like, holy cow, this is the worst year ever. 2019, not 2020, which, So, anyways, so my eyes, I got the contacts that I needed for 2019, and my eyes, they've adjusted. I'll always have this, but I think back, and it's just kind of cool that, something as simple as light that hinders me is something that I've kind of created here for people to enjoy, And but anyways, more about how this started. So December rolls around 2019, and it's Christmas Day. We're sitting here at my house with my wife's family, and So the last gift we received is a card. And inside this card is an envelope with a check in it. And what had happened was before my wife's grandmother passed away, she had already made these gifts out for everybody to have that December, following her death. So I opened this card up and it's a check. And I looked at my wife and I said, this check right here is going to buy my first controller to start this light show with. And it did. That's how it kind of got started. And of course I've grew it from there.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So you said a little bit of the story behind, why you wanted to start this. I would love to hear, I know it's only been going on for a couple weeks now, but I'd love to hear, a little bit, about what you've heard, the good things that you've heard, the good news that this has brought to so many people. I mean, we're here right now. It's been like 5 minutes and there's, 10 plus cars that have already pulled up in a van that's passing by right now.
Yeah, and they'll come through the night. Yeah. On the weekends. Weekends are crazy here. But on opening night, which was 2 Saturdays ago, these sidewalks were full of people. And I thought it would be big. I had no clue it would be this big. And it's continued. People have sent me messages. My wife can, she sits there and watches me on Facebook, and I'm going through trying to keep up, make sure I'm liking everybody's posts. I'm telling them thank you, trying to, stay on top of that because there's so many of them coming in. So many people are there. They've had it's been a tough year. My tough year was 2019. Their tough year has been this year, and just for somebody to come out here and see, what we've created here and to smile, to give them a little joy, a little hope, that's what it's all about.
Definitely. That's awesome. I love it too. I know you might not know this too, but a lot of the people that listen on the radio, I started decorating back in September, which people were like, that's really early to start decorating for Christmas, but I mean, I have nothing on you. Start decorating last year, and this is incredible, which we'll cut to it. We'll cut to the actual show here just to kind of give people a sneak peek here in a minute. But I so believe that something as simple, well, not this simple, but lights, that brings so much joy. And I know the Christmas season isn't about lights. It's not about decorations, not about anything like that. It's about, Jesus being born for us. But if this is a reminder of that, if this is a display of like, hey, this season is about joy, and lights make people remember that. Lights make people, during this difficult time, line up on the street and just enjoy the lights, and they're synced to songs and everything right now, and which is incredible. I think it's amazing what you're doing here, and a lot of people might think, oh, it's just a light show. It's just a show, but it's not.
It's not. I know our third sequence, in our set here, is it's a spoken word, and it goes through. It's called It's Not Just a Baby, and how the spoken word starts out. It starts out as kind of describing the baby as us, 10 fingers, 10 toes, the whole 9 yards. It shows him as a man. It goes through his perfect life. And then it talks about his, being crucified on the cross, and then, being buried and resurrecting 3 days later. And when you look at that manger, you see just a baby at times, but it's really not. It's, our hope is in that baby that's in that manger. That's our Savior. He came, God sent him to stand in our place.
Yeah. That's awesome. Now, you mentioned earlier about you're getting a lot of messages, a lot of people messaging you right now. What are some of those messages? What are some of those things that people have said or what they've liked about this?
I actually, throughout today, I try to prepare for this. This is not me. Most of you guys know me. I'm the sound guy at my church. I'm behind the scenes. I don't do this kind of stuff. So I tried to prepare a little bit, knowing this interview was going to happen. But I kind of went through our Facebook, Carrberry Christmas Facebook, and just picked out a few, just to share with everybody, to see what people are saying. And let me just read a few of those to you. This lady says, "We came last night and it was amazing. Thank you for getting us all in the Christmas spirit," which is, yeah, we were there. Thank you. Thousands and thousands of thank yous for all the time and work and knowledge. You are a blessing to the community and letting the light of Christmas season shine brightly. And, we have a lot of fun songs. You got to have the kids have got to enjoy it too.
Yes, definitely.
But if the fun songs get people here, if the lights get people here, and then you can, just share a little message with them. Tell them about Jesus. You've done your job, So there is one I wanted to read to you. This lady said, "We just came by for our second trip now." Mind you, we've only been doing this for a week. She said, "We just come by for our second trip and are going to bring our seniors from church on Monday night," which is tonight, and they're supposed to be here sometime tonight. And they're coming all the way from Bristol, Virginia, from Anchor Baptist Church. So we're here in Kingsport, and that's a pretty good haul just to come see the Christmas show. But it's the show has impacted them so much that they want to share it with other people. And what more could you ask for? Especially in a time like this where we've all been bottled up in our house, and we can still be bottled up in our cars, but we can still enjoy something while we're in our cars out here, as far as being saved. So.
Definitely, that is awesome. I love this. I mean, you can kind of see it a little bit in the camera. So if you're watching this right now, you can kind of see. But I'll turn to it here in a couple minutes. But I love, 2020's been hard. It's been, probably if not one of the most difficult years, at least in my life. I mean, I'm not super old, but it's been hard. It's been really hard. And something like this, that's not, people might not think it's much, can make a big difference. It can provide that little, it can help provide that little bit of hope. They can come out to enjoy a light show, but then also hear and experience the message of Jesus, which is what this is really about. It's a joyful season, not because of lights. It's a joyful season, not because of presents. It's a joyful season, not because of the decorations. It's a joyful season because of Jesus. But like I said earlier, and like you said, this is just a display of that. This is just a way to get people to come, to get people to enjoy. The kids will enjoy looking at it just because it's amazing. But they can also experience the message of Jesus and remember that that's the reason for this. It's the reason for the season. And I appreciate you taking this time. You said earlier before I started recording that you've been doing this for over a year of preparation.
I actually talked to a guy in town that we go to. He's been doing it for 12 years now. And I look back at December 21st of 2019, I sent him my first message just inquiring about, what am I fixing to jump into here? And he has been a lifesaver for me. He has got me through this. And there's been days where you're like, why? And this is taking away so much, what am I doing this? And I guess I never really saw the reason behind it while we're putting all the work in, while all the holes are being drilled and pushing all these lights into these little things that make blinky things, But then you see all these people come out and you're like, that's why. You don't see that back then, but you see it now. And to me, the work's paid off. Opening night was 2 Saturdays ago. On Sunday when I woke up, I looked at my wife and I said, I'm ready for 2021. But I'm ready to get started, And we have a lot of plans for 2021. The show, we're going to add a lot of things. we've got some surprises for next year to make it bigger, because we didn't really expect a lot of people to be out here on the sidewalks. We expected them to be in their cars, which the sidewalks is awesome to me. So next year we've got a surprise, you know, for you know, just to make the show a little bit better, you know, just maybe bring somebody else out if they see another concept of how the show runs, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I was gonna ask, you know, if it was all worth it, you know, all the hard work, but you pretty much answered it there.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you another story is, so I have a little 8-year-old boy, and opening night, I actually decided before that we were going to buy these bracelets, and the bracelets were sound activated, so I bought 100 of them. So we give them to kids. The first 100 got one or whatnot, and my little boy was out here with his mom, my wife, and they were running up and down the sidewalks handing these things out, and just to see, you know, he had a total different look in his eyes about what he was doing, and he's given that gift, you know, here, get this, you're going to enjoy this. So that night we kind of talked around or whatever, and he said, Daddy, he said, you know, he said, I almost shed a tear when that first song started playing. And I said, you did, bud? He said, yeah. He said, that was awesome, wasn't it? And I said, it really was. And so it's meant a lot to him. You know, if I don't touch anybody, you know, just touching him, you know, means everything, you know. And just kind of be an example for him and show him that, you know, I've got this strange eye disease that not a lot of people in the world's got, but look what we can do, you know. Look what God has allowed us to do. Yeah. You know,
that's amazing. I love that. I love being an example for your kids. I have 3 kids of my own. So I understand that, and wanting to show them what this is about, right. Wanting to show them why, you know, for you why you spend all year preparing for this, right. And the sacrifice that it takes, but the joy that it brings, right, is amazing. So thank you so much. I mean, thank you for standing here in the freezing cold, talking with me. And I'm gonna put your Facebook link in the description of this video as well. So if you're listening to this right now and not watching it, head over to our YouTube channel, WCQR FM on YouTube, and this will be the video that you see on the front and center. So make sure you can find the address. All the information is on your Facebook page, yes. Of your address here in Kingsport, and the show times and everything. So we'll link to that. And Brandon, again, I appreciate the sacrifice, the time that it took to do this. I'm gonna turn the camera here to this for a second, give you guys a little sneak peek. Not a lot, because you got to come out to really enjoy it. But I'm gonna turn it out over here real quick to give you guys a sneak peek of what's going on. So again, Brandon, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, check this out. I don't know if that's really justified right here, but give you an idea at least.